everybody. Hello everybody. I am Sambasivara Vankayalapati, Assistant Professor of Maths, SRN Business Arts and Science College, Khammam, Telangana. Today our topic is limiting points of a coaxial system. This is my 13th video. So in this video I am going to discuss what is coaxial system and what are the limiting points of the coaxial system and how to find the limiting points of the coaxial system. So the contents of today's video lesson are: first one is power of the point and radical plane, radical line, radical center and coaxial system limiting points. These are the contents of today's video lesson. First of all, power of a point. Power of a point. See this. The power of the point, suppose this is the sphere and P is a point. P may be either inside of the sphere or outside of the sphere or on the sphere. P may be here or outside of the sphere or it may be on the sphere. Whatever the case may be, the power of point is equal. If P is the point x1, y1, z1, then the power of point is x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square plus 2ux1 plus 2by1 plus 2wz1 plus d. This is the power of the point. So power of the point is nothing but the value obtained by substituting the point coordinates of the point in the equation of the sphere. So what is the power of point? Power of point is the value which is obtained by substituting the coordinates of the point in the equation of the sphere. This is the power of point. Radical plane. See this. Radical plane. Radical plane. Suppose let S1 is equal to 0 is one sphere and S2 is equal to 0 is another sphere. So if you take a point P here like this, so what is radical plane? If the power of point of P with respect to this sphere is equal to the power of point of this point with respect to this sphere is equal, then the locus of such points is called radical plane. So radical plane means let S1 is equal to 0 and S2 is equal to 0 be two spheres. The locus of the points whose power with respect to the two spheres is equal is a plane. This plane is called radical plane. So I am repeating once again. Suppose P is a point. The power of point of P with respect to the sphere S1 is equal to 0 is equal to the power of point of P with respect to sphere S2 is equal to 0. Then the locus of P is called radical plane. For example, see this. Power with respect to two spheres, radical plane, power with respect to two spheres is equal. Suppose S1 is equal to one sphere, then power with respect to S1 is power of point P x1, y1, z1 with respect to the sphere S1 is x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square, x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square plus 2u1 x1 plus 2b1 y1 plus 2w1 z1 plus d1. Power of the point P with respect to sphere S2 is equal to 0 is, this is x2 square, x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square plus 2u2 x1 plus 2v2 y1 plus 2w2 z1 plus d2. So on simplification, what we will get? This will be cancelled with this, and shifting all these terms to this side, you will get like this: 2 into u1 minus u2 x1 plus 2 v1 minus v2 y1 plus 2 w1 minus w2 z1 plus d1 minus d2 is equal to 0. Actually, this equation is of the form ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0. This equation is of the form ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0. Actually, you know that this is the equation of a plane in 3-dimensional geometry. Therefore, this equation represents the locus of p x1 y1 z can be written like this. The locus of p x1 y1 z1 is obtained by replacing x1 y1 z1 in this equation with xyz. By replacing x1 y1 z1 in this expression by xyz, the locus of the point P is obtained like this. What is this? 2u1 minus u2x plus 2v1 minus v2y plus 2w1 minus w2 z plus d1 minus d2 is equal to 0. This is nothing but s1 minus s2 is equal to 0. Actually, this is of the form ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0. Actually, ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0 gives a plane. Therefore, this is the equation of a plane. This plane is nothing but the equation of the radical plane. The equation of the radical plane is obtained by, in a simplest form, the equation of the radical plane is obtained by taking s1 minus s2 is equal to 0. s1 minus s2 is equal to 0 gives the equation of the radical plane. Next, see this radical line. Suppose s1 is equal to 0, s2 is equal to 0, s3 is equal to 0 are three spheres. So then by taking any two, suppose if you take s1 and s2, you will get a radical plane like this, s1 minus s2 is equal to 0. If you take s2 and s3, the radical plane is s2 minus s3 is equal to 0. If you take s1 and s3, then the radical plane is s1 minus s3 is equal to 0. So you will get three radical planes like this. You can also see in the diagram, these are the three radical planes. For example, this is the radical plane of s1 and s2. This is the radical plane of s2 and s3. This is the radical plane of s1 and s3. You can see in the diagram also, all these three radical planes passes through a particular line. So all radical planes, this radical plane, and this, all these three radical planes passes through a particular line. Thus, that line is called radical line of the spheres s1, s2, and s3. So, what is the equation of radical line? Since this is one radical plane and this is another radical plane, since radical line is the line of intersection of radical planes, therefore the equation of the radical line can be written like this: s1 minus s2 is equal to 0 is equal to s2 minus s3. Also we can write like this also: s1 minus s2 is equal to 0 is equal to s1 minus s3. We can also write like this. This is the equation of radical line. So see this radical center. In this case we take two spheres. What are they? s1, s2, s3 and s4. We take four spheres in this case. So taking any three, we can obtain a radical line. If you take s1, s2, s3, you will have a radical line. If you take s1, s3, s4, you will have another radical line. So by taking 3 from these 4, by taking 3 each time from these 4 spheres, you will get a radical line, so that we will get 4 radical lines. 4 radical lines. All the 4 radical lines concurrent at a point. Suppose this is the radical line of, this is another radical line, and this is another radical line, and this is another radical line. All the 4 radical lines are concurrent at particular point. This point of concurrence is called radical center. Radical center. So this is radical center. Radical plane, equation of radical plane is s1 minus s2 is equal to 0. Radical line, if you take 3 spheres, you will get 3 radical planes. All these 3 radical planes pass through a particular line. This line is called radical line. So if you take 4 spheres, taking 3 each time, you will get a radical line, so that you will get 4 radical lines. Obviously, these 4 radical lines are concurrent at a point. The point of concurrence of radical lines is called radical center. Next, see this theorem. What is the statement of the theorem? If S1 is equal to 0, S2 is equal to 0 be two spheres, then the equation S1 plus KS2 is equal to 0 whenever K is a parameter represents a system of spheres so that any two members of the system have same radical plane. So what is the statement of the theorem? You can see here. Suppose S1 is one sphere and S2 is another sphere. Then if you write an equation S1 plus KS2 is equal to 0, whenever K is a parameter, this equation gives a system of spheres. This equation gives a system of spheres. Also, we have to prove that if you take any two members of the system, the radical plane each time is same. For example, if you take two members of the system, you will get some radical plane. If you take another two members of this system, you will take another radical plane. But these two radical planes are not different, they are same. So what we have to prove? We have to prove if you take any two members of the system, then the radical plane is identical, radical plane is same. For example, suppose take two members of this system, S1 plus K1 S2 is equal to 0, S1 plus K2 S2 is equal to 0. This is one member of the system and this is another member of the system. So making the coefficients of x square plus y square plus z square unity, we have like this. For example, I will explain here. See this. S1 plus KS2. S1 plus KS2 is equal to 0. On simplification of this, you will get like this. You will get like this. 1 plus K1, 1 plus K1, x1 square plus 1 plus K1, y1 square plus 1 plus K1, z1 square, plus so on like this. But in the equation of a sphere, in standard equation of sphere, the coefficients of x, y, z should be unity. Therefore, by dividing total this equation with 1 plus K1, you will get like this. X square plus y square plus z square plus so on. Therefore, in this equation, the coefficients of x square, y square, z square will be make unity by dividing this entire equation with 1 plus K1. Similarly, in this equation also, by dividing with 1 plus K2, the coefficients of x square, y square, z square will become unity. Therefore, this can be written like this and this sphere can be written like this. So, the radical plane of two spheres is by taking subtraction of these two. So, whenever S1, S2 are two spheres, then the radical plane is S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. Since this is one sphere and this is another sphere, the radical plane of these two spheres is obtained by taking subtraction of these two. So, like this. On simplification of this entire equation, you will be left with S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. So, actually, see this. On taking LCM and multiplying, you will get 1 plus K2 into S1. This is nothing but S1 plus K2 S1 plus K1 S2 into 1 plus K2. Therefore, K1 S2 plus K1 K2 S2 minus 1 plus K1 into S1 minus S1 minus K1 S1 1 plus K1 into K2 S2 minus K2 S2 minus K1 K2 S2 is equal to 0. So S1 will be cancelled with S1. So you will get K2 S1 minus K1 S1. K1 S2 minus K2 S2. And K1 K2 S2 minus K1 K2 S2. This also will be cancelled. So taking these two, you will get K2 minus K1 S1 minus, taking these two, you will get minus of K2 minus K1 S2 is equal to 0. So dividing with K2 minus K1, you will get S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. So that by simplifying the entire equation, you will get S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. Actually, we have taken two members of the system. Their radical plane is S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. Also, if S1 and S2 are also the members of the system, the radical plane is S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. So radical plane of S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. Also, if you take any two members of the system, in this case also radical plane is S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. So that it is proved that, so this equation is independent of K1, K2. We can say easily that in every case, if you take any two members of the system, S1 plus KS2 is equal to 0, then the radical plane is same. Coaxial system. A system of spheres in which radical plane of any two members is same is called coaxial system. As we have proved earlier in the earlier theorem, we have proved that if you take any two members of the system, S1 plus KS2 is equal to 0. If you take any two members of this system, then the radical plane is same. Such a system is called coaxial system. A system of spheres in which radical plane of any two members is same is called coaxial system. Example, S1 plus KS2 is equal to 0. If you take like this, already you have proved that in this system, if you take any two members of this system, then the radical plane in any case is equal to S1 minus S2 is equal to 0 and it is same. Therefore, the system is called coaxial system, and the members of the system is S1 is equal to 0 and S2 is equal to 0, and there may be another members also there. The main members of the system is S1 is equal to 0 and S2 is equal to 0. This is the coaxial system. This is the coaxial system derived by these two spheres. So another form of coaxial system, for example, you can write like this also. S1 plus K into S1 minus S2 is equal to 0 is also can be written, and this is also represents a coaxial system, and S plus Ku is equal to 0 is also represents a coaxial system. You can see in the diagram, this is the coaxial system. You can see the centers of all the spheres lies on a line. The centers of all the spheres lies on a straight line, and radical planes are like this. Radical plane of the coaxial system, common radical plane of the coaxial system will be like this. You can easily understand that the line of centers is perpendicular to the radical plane. The line of centers, this line, the locus of the centers of spheres of a coaxial system is a straight line. This line is perpendicular to the radical plane. You can see in the diagram. Simplified form of coaxial system. Simplified form of coaxial system. So, without loss of generality, you can take line of centers as x-axis. You can see like this. Take like this. This is line of centers as x-axis. You can take, and this is negative x-axis. You can take system of coaxial system like this. Line of centers is x-axis, and you can take yz plane. This is yz plane because this is y-axis and this is z-axis. You can take yz plane as radical plane. So to find simplified form of coaxial system without loss of generality, we can assume that the line of centers of the coaxial system is nothing but x-axis. Since the line of centers is x-axis. All the centers of coaxial system, all the centers of spheres of the coaxial system lie on x-axis. Therefore, we must have xy coordinates will become 0 in the coordinates of centers. Therefore, we can write C1 is equal to minus U1 0 0, C2 is equal to minus U2 0 0. Then the spheres take the form like this. For example, actually what is the equation of the sphere? X square plus y square plus z square plus 2u1x plus 2v1y plus 2w1z plus d1 is equal to 0. Since v1 is equal to 0 and w1 is equal to 0, these terms will become 0. Then the equation will turns like x square plus y square plus z square plus 2u1x plus d1 is equal to 0. So this is the equation of one member S1 and this is the equation of S2. Therefore, the radical plane is obtained by taking S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. So by taking S1 minus S2 is equal to 0, the terms will be cancelled with these terms and you are left with 2 into u1 minus u2 x plus d1 minus d2 is equal to 0. 2 into u1 minus u2 x plus d1 minus d2 is equal to 0. Therefore, this is the equation of radical plane of this coaxial system. So if we take radical plane as yz, we assumed that yz is the radical plane, then we must have d1 is equal to d2 because equation of yz plane is x is equal to 0. To obtain x is equal to 0, we must have, suppose this equation will become x is equal to 0 only if d1 minus d2 is equal to 0. If d1 minus d2 is equal to 0, then you are left with 2 into u1 minus u2 into x is equal to 0. Then taking this to this side, you will get x is equal to 0. So this radical plane will become yz axis only if d1 minus d2 is equal to 0, then d1 is equal to d2. Suppose that d1 is equal to d2 is equal to d, then the two spheres S1 and S2, see this, then the two spheres S1 and S2 will be converted into like this, x square plus y square plus z square plus 2u1x plus d is equal to 0 and S2 will become like this. So by these two equations, we can write a common equation like this, x square plus y square plus z square plus 2u1x, 2u2x, we can write 2kx plus d is equal to 0. This is the common equation of the coaxial system, x square plus y square plus z square plus 2kx plus d is equal to 0. For every value of k, this is the common equation of the coaxial system. This represents the coaxial system. Here, what are the components? YZ plane is the radical plane and x-axis is the line of centers. Once again I am repeating, this is the simplified form of coaxial system. X square plus y square plus z square plus 2kx plus d is equal to 0. In this case, the line of centers is x-axis and the radical plane is YZ plane. Limiting points. So take the simplified form of coaxial system like this. So this can be written like this. For example, take this x square plus, by adding take this equation, add k square both sides, then you will get like this, x square plus, here 2kx is there, 2kx plus, and adding k square you will get k square plus y square plus z square is equal to, here minus d plus k square is added both sides, therefore you can write k square. Therefore x square plus 2kx plus k square gives us x plus k whole square. plus y square plus z square is equal to minus d plus k square is nothing but k square minus d. So finally you can write like this: x plus k whole square plus y square plus z square is equal to k square minus d. So this can be written like this: x minus of minus k whole square plus y square plus z square is equal to root k square minus d whole square. So this is in the center and radius form of the sphere equation. So from this we can write the center of the sphere is minus k 0 0, because x minus of minus k whole square can be compared with x minus a whole square. Therefore a is equal to minus k, and similarly b is equal to 0, c is equal to 0. Then the center is minus k 0 0 and radius is root k square minus d. So center is, what is center? Minus k 0 0 and radius is root k square minus d. What are the limiting points? Actual limiting points are the members of the coaxial system whose radius is 0. So limiting points are the nothing but limiting points are nothing but members of the coaxial system so that their radius is 0. Radius is 0 means they are point circles. They are point circles. So you can say that, you can see that limiting points are the point circles of the coaxial system. So to find limiting points, what you have to take? You must have to take that the radius of the member of the coaxial system will be 0. So root k square minus d is equal to 0. This is obtained by taking k square is equal to d, then k is equal to plus or minus root d. Therefore if you take k is equal to plus or minus root d, then obviously k square is equal to d, then it will become 0, then the radius will become 0, and center is actually, what is center? Minus k 0 0 and radius root k square minus d. If you take k square, k is equal to plus or minus root d, then you will get surely k square is equal to d, then root k square minus d will become 0, and in this case the center will become minus k means k is equal to plus or minus root d. Therefore minus k is equal to also plus or minus root d, plus or minus root d 0 0. These are the two centers. So you will get like this: the centers of these pairs with radius 0 are plus root d 0 0 and minus root d 0 0. So these two are point pairs because radius of these two pairs is 0, and hence these two are point pairs of the coaxial system. Therefore these two are called limiting points of the coaxial system. Once again I am repeating, what are the limiting points of the coaxial system? The limiting points of the coaxial system are nothing but the members of the coaxial system so that their radius is 0. So whenever radius is 0, the sphere will become a point sphere. So the limiting points of the coaxial system are point spheres. Therefore whenever you take the simplified form of coaxial system like this, x square plus y square plus z square plus 2kx plus d is equal to 0, in this case root d 0 0 and minus root d 0 0 are the two limiting points of the coaxial system. Problem: find the limiting points of the coaxial system defined by the spheres. So here you are given two spheres, one is S1 and another is S2. We have to find the limiting points of the coaxial system which is defined by these two spheres. So given spheres are S1 is equal to 0, S2 is equal to 0, then S1 minus S2 is obtained by subtracting S2 from S1. Therefore S1 minus S2 is equal to, these two will be get cancelled. So you will get like this: 3x plus 6y. So 3x minus 3y plus 6y So 3y minus 6z, minus of minus 6z plus 6z, and 6 minus 6 will become 0. So on subtracting these two terms, and these terms will be cancelled. You are left with 3x minus 3y plus 6y plus 3y minus of minus 6z plus 6z, 3x plus 3y plus 6z. So the equation of the coaxial system can be written like this: S1 plus k into S1 minus S2 is equal to 0. So S1 is equal to this, and S1 minus S2 is this. So by taking 3 common from this, you will get 3k. So by taking 3k as lambda, the equation of coaxial system will become like this: x square plus y square plus z square plus 3x minus 3y plus 6 plus lambda into x plus y plus 2z is equal to 0. On simplifying this, you will get like this. And here 2u is equal to 3 plus lambda, and hence u is equal to half 3 plus lambda. 2v is equal to minus 3 plus lambda. So you will get v is equal to half lambda minus 3. 2z is equal to 2 lambda, and hence 2w is equal to 2 lambda, and hence w is equal to lambda, d is equal to 6. From this we can write center. Center is nothing but minus u minus v minus w, and hence center is like this. And what is the radius? Root u square plus v square plus w square minus d. So by substituting the value of u, v, w and d in this, you will get like this. On simplification, finally, this is the radius of the coaxial system. Radius of the member of a coaxial system. So we have to find limiting points of the coaxial system. What are the limiting points? Limiting points are nothing but the point spares. Point spares means radius will become 0. By making the radius equal to 0, you will get like this. Since limiting points are point spares of the coaxial system, we take r is equal to 0. So 6 lambda square minus 6 by 4 root is equal to 0. From this you will get lambda is equal to plus or minus 1. Therefore, so whenever radius is equal to 0, we are left with lambda is equal to plus or minus 1. By taking lambda values as plus 1 and minus 1 in the centers, in the center of the sphere given this, you will get limiting points. By taking lambda is equal to 1, you will get one limiting point, and by taking lambda is equal to minus 1, you will get another limiting point. So by taking lambda is equal to 1, you will get like this. Taking lambda is equal to minus 1, you will get like this. On simplifying this, you will get minus 2, 1, minus 1 and minus 1, 2, 1. These two are point spares of the coaxial system. That means radius, whenever radius is equal to 0, these two are the centers of the spares. Therefore, these two are the centers of the point spares of the coaxial system, and hence these two are limiting points of the coaxial system. See another problem. Show that there are in general two spares of a coaxial system which touch a given plane. Find the equation to the two spares of the coaxial system: x square plus y square plus z square minus 5 plus lambda into 2x plus y plus 3z minus 3 is equal to 0, which touch the plane 3x plus 4y is equal to 15. So once again I will repeat the statement of the problem. Show that there are in general two spares. We have to show that for every coaxial system, there exist two spares such that to touch the given plane. Suppose if you are given a coaxial system and if you are given a plane, we can find two members of the coaxial system so that they are touching the given plane. So once again I will repeat this. If you are given a coaxial system like this, and if you are given a plane like this, in general we can find two members of the coaxial system such that they touch this plane. So we have to prove this concept in general first, and then we will solve this problem. So let the coaxial system be like this. This is the simplified form of the coaxial system, and suppose that the given plane equation is Lx plus My plus Nz is equal to P. Suppose that the spares which touch the plane 2 of the coaxial system will be given by x square plus y square plus z square plus 2 lambda x plus d is equal to 0. By taking k is equal to lambda, you will get this equation. this is the member of this coaxial system. Suppose that this member of the coaxial system will touch this plane. So we will apply the condition for tangency of the plane and the sphere. So here center of this sphere will be minus lambda 0 0, because here 2u is equal to lambda and hence u is equal to lambda. Since there are no y term and there is no z term, we must have v is equal to w is equal to 0. Therefore the center will be minus u minus v minus w will be minus lambda 0 0. And radius is equal to root u square plus v square plus w square minus d. Since v is equal to 0 and w is equal to 0 u is equal to minus lambda, the radius is root lambda square minus d. Root lambda square minus d. Since plane 2 touches the sphere 3, we must have r is equal to d. Since whenever a plane touches a sphere, then the condition is r is equal to d, wherever r is the radius of the sphere and d is the perpendicular distance from the center of the sphere to the given plane. So in this case, we have taken that this member of the coaxial system touch the given plane. Therefore we must have r is equal to d, whenever d is perpendicular distance from the center to this plane. So d is equal to perpendicular distance from the center c minus lambda 0 0 to the plane lx plus my plus nz is equal to p. By applying the principle to find the perpendicular distance, you will get d is equal like this. On simplification, you will be left with this. So d is equal to root l lambda plus p by root l square plus m square plus n square. Therefore r is equal to d implies this is r is equal to d, because this is r and this is d. R is equal to d implies this. Therefore on squaring both sides, you will get lambda square minus d is equal to, by shifting, see this, by shifting this value to this side and taking square of both sides, you will get this equation. Lambda square minus d into l square plus m square plus n square is equal to l lambda plus p whole square. By multiplying this, you will get this. On simplification, you will get this. So totally by simplifying the entire equation, you are left with this equation. This is in the form a lambda square plus b lambda plus c is equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation in lambda. We know that every quadratic equation has two roots. Therefore this equation has two roots. Therefore we will get two values for lambda. As we got two values for lambda, therefore we will get, since lambda has two values, we will get two different equations from this. So these two are, actually what are they? These two equations, these two spares. Since lambda has two values, we will get two spares with this condition. So what the condition? These two spares will touch the given plane. So it is proved that if you are given a coaxial system and a plane, we can find in general two members of the coaxial system so that they are touching the given plane. It is proved in general. Therefore now let us go to the problem. So this is the coaxial system given in the problem. This is the coaxial system given in the problem. On simplification, you will get like this. And from this you can write center C like this and radius will be like this. Here you can write u value, v value and w value from this. U is equal to lambda, v is equal to lambda by 2, w is equal to 3 lambda by 2. Therefore center C is equal to minus u minus v minus w is equal to minus lambda by 2 minus 3 lambda by 2. And d is equal to this. The radius will be root u square plus v square plus w square minus d. This is the formula to find the radius. By substituting the values of u, v, w and d, you will get like this. On simplification, you will get finally half root 14 lambda square plus 12 lambda plus 20. this is the radius. And what is D? D is the, what is the plane given in the problem? 3x plus 4y minus 15 is equal to 0. This is the plane given in the problem. So the sphere touch the plane touch the sphere if r is equal to d. Whenever r is the radius of the sphere and d is the perpendicular distance from the center to the plane itself. Therefore d is equal to perpendicular distance from the center to the plane 3x plus 4y minus 15 is equal to 0. By substituting the values of xy, by applying the principle to find the perpendicular distance, you will get like this. D is equal to, what is the principle to find the perpendicular distance? Whenever x1, y1, z1 is the point and ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0 is the plane, then the perpendicular distance will be given by the principle ax1 plus by1 plus cz1 plus d by root of a square plus b square plus c square. So by applying this principle, perpendicular distance will be obtained like this. On simplification, you will get lambda plus 3. Since the sphere 4 touch the plane, we have d is equal to r. D is equal to r. So this is d and this is r. Therefore, on simplification of this, by shifting 2 to this side, 2 into lambda plus 3, on squaring both sides, 4 lambda plus 3 whole square. On squaring, root will be cancelled here. Therefore, you will get 4 into lambda plus 3 whole square is equal to 14 lambda square plus 12 lambda plus 20. On simplifying the entire equation, finally you will get like this. 5 lambda square minus 6 lambda minus 8 is equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. On solving this quadratic equation by this, you will get like this. Finally, you will get like this. 5 lambda plus 4 into lambda minus 2 is equal to 0, and hence lambda is equal to is one value. Lambda is equal to minus 4 by 5 is another value. So by taking the values of lambda, two values of lambda in this equation, lambda is equal to 2 and lambda is equal to minus 4 by 5. By substituting these two values in this equation, you will be left with two equations of the spheres which are the required spheres. So by taking lambda is equal to in the above equation, you will get like this, and by taking lambda is equal to minus 4 by 5, you will get like this. So by simplifying this, you will get this equation, and on simplification of this, you will get this equation. These are two spheres satisfying the given condition. That is nothing but these are two spheres of the given coaxial system, so that touching the plane 3x plus 4y is equal to 15. Therefore, this is the what we have learned in this class. We have learned that every coaxial system has two limiting points. To find the limiting points of the coaxial system, we must have take the general equation of the coaxial system. We must have take radius of the coaxial system will be 0, and then by taking radius of the 0, we will take parameter lambda. We will get two values of lambda, and by taking two values of lambda in the centers of the coaxial system, we will get 2 points. They are nothing but point spares. They are the limiting points of the coaxial system. And in the second problem, we are given that we have given a coaxial system and a plane. We have to find the members of the coaxial system so that they are touching the given plane. So we have taken general equation of we have taken a member of a coaxial system, and we have taken the center of the that member and radius of that member, and since that sphere is touching the given plane, we apply the condition so that d is equal to r. By applying the condition, we will get two values for lambda, parameter lambda, and by taking these two values of lambda in the equation of the coaxial system, we will get two spheres. These two spheres are required spheres with this condition. This is the procedure you have to follow to solve whenever you are given such type of problems. Thank you very much.